Today we got the Rode Wireless Pro versus the DJI Mic 2. This is about to be quite the showdown. Let's go. What up, y'all? It's Tyson Terry Warford. I'm back for another video. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Hey, remember to be thankful for your life today because you did not have to have that. A few housekeeping items we got to go through before we get through all this information. Number one, I don't script videos, so I might mess up, but I did take a lot of notes. Number two, DJI did sponsor this video. Okay, now before you get the scoff in your face and turn it upside down, let me tell you something. Before I agreed to make this video, I had a personal conversation with DJI and I told them I am not willing to bash Rode for DJI or vice versa. If you want to pay me to make this video, fine, but I'm gonna state the facts and I'm gonna give my real opinion. And what's so dope about DJI is they was like, okay, cool. And then we had another call and they was like, well, Terry, what do you think that the Rode did better? And I told them the things that I think that the Rode did better. And it was like, cool, go ahead on with your video. So with that being said, I'm gonna give y'all all of the facts. I'm not gonna try to diss one to bring up the other or vice versa. And I'm gonna give you my personal choice at the end of the video. Now, also, I gotta shout out BH Photo for hooking us up with the Rode Wireless Pro. So big shout out to BH Photo also. And of course, like I said, DJI did provide the DJI Mic 2. Now that we got that out the way, let's start with the freaking price. Okay, the Rode Wireless Pro is $399. So let me show you what you get in here, minus the receivers, because the receivers right now are on top of the cameras. Okay, so the Rode Wireless Pro, I got freaking dog here all on it. Now the Rode Wireless Pro comes with a receiver and 2 transmitters. It also comes with another little pouch right here that has all of the goodies in it. So it's got like all of the USB-C cables, the lightning cables, the 2 lavs that it comes with. So we'll talk about that in 1 second, and some other like accessories like the wind muffs and all that other good stuff. So this is the Rode Wireless Pro combo, $399. The DJI Mic 2 combo, the whole kit is $349. Now you don't get any lav mics with it, but DJI does sell the lav mics separately for $39 a piece. Okay, more on that in 1 second. Obviously you get the carrying case, which again comes with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, but they're mounted, so which is why they're missing, and the charger case itself. And also it does come with this pouch, and this pouch allows you to carry all the rest of the stuff like the cables, the wind muffs and all that other good stuff. So that's what you get with the whole combos. Now I do want to bring up this point. Okay, if you did want to get the DJI Mic 2s with 2 lavs, you will be at $430 versus $400 out the door with the Rode. So you are looking at a $30 difference or increase with the DJI mics. Now, the next thing is the DJI Mic 2 does come in several different packages, right? So you could get the one for $349. If you want it without the charger case, so you just want a receiver and a transmitter, that's $219. You can buy the transmitters separately. They have them in black and white. They're $99 a piece. And if you want the case by itself for $69, I would just get the whole combo. That's just me. Okay, so now that we got pricing out the way, I want to show you first what the DJI Mic 2 case looks like. So this is an aluminum case. It does have a locking mechanism on the side. It charges with USB-C, and inside you open it, and obviously you get your 2 transmitters right here, and you have your receiver which sits in here. Now the DJI Mic 2 does come with a lightning adapter and a USB-C adapter inside the case. You don't have to carry around any separate cables or anything like that. So there's that. This is the Rode Wireless Pro charger case. So a different style, obviously. This one is like a soft plastic, but it does have hard bumpers, and it doesn't have a locking mechanism, but it does have a zipper on it. You charge this with USB-C, and inside of it you get your 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. I want to show you a quick difference with the DJI mics. Okay, if you want to put this in here, it's magnetic, so you just drop it in there and it clicks into place. With the Rodes, you do have to kind of rip it out because it does have to sit directly on the USB-C port and put it back in there and make sure it's seated properly for it to charge. Now, the Rode Wireless Pro does have a distinct advantage with the USB-C port. You can plug this whole case into a computer and access all of the data of whatever you have inside of it. So microphones and all that stuff, you can get the data right off of it. You can perform, you know, firmware updates and stuff like that. I really wish that was a feature that the DJI Mic 2 case had, because this is just the charger case. But, you know, that's what you get. Now, both of these cases will recharge the contents inside 2 extra freaking times, and the battery life on the DJI Mic 2 is about 6 hours per charge, and the Rode Wireless Pro is about 7 hours per charge. So you are getting slightly better battery life out of the Rode Wireless Pro. To be honest with you though, I haven't killed either one of them in any of my testing, and I've been testing the crap out of both of these for a few weeks. So, you know, the Rode does have a slight advantage with battery life, but I don't think you have a problem with either. Okay, now I do want to take a quick look at the transmitters themselves, because they are actually quite different, and then we'll look at the receiver. See, this is what I'm talking about. Trying to get this out of this case is so annoying. So huge difference when it comes to the appearance, size, and all that stuff. So as you see, the DJI Mic 2 is smaller. I find that the DJI Mic 2 is way more concealable. I can actually hide this underneath the shirt if I put the magnet on the back of it, and it's just less noticeable. You know, the design is up to you whether you like the translucent design or not, but it is smaller and it's about 10 grams lighter than the Rode Wireless Pro. The Rode Wireless Pro is the square design, and frankly, I wish Rode would come up with a different design, because these are a real eyesore if you mounting it to stuff like your shirt or putting it on a hat or something like that. The DJI Mic is much, much smaller. Now, looking around them, they both have pretty much the same stuff on them. They have a record button. They both have a link button on it. I will say with the Rode Wireless Pro, you can customize this Rode button if you use the Rode Central app. We'll talk about that more later on in this video, but they both have a USB-C port. They both have a built-in microphone, so you don't have to use a lav, and they also both have a lav port. Now, the Rode Wireless Pro actually has a lock-in lav system on here, so this is a huge deal. If you are worried about putting this in a talent's pocket, or you don't want the mic getting snatched out or something like that, nothing beats a lock-in system on the lavalier set. Now, the DJI Mic 2 does not have a lock-in lav system, but it does have a little trick up its sleeve that works just about as well, okay? So there's a spot behind the clip on here for you to route the lav cable through it, and the DJI lav has a right angle, so a 90-degree angle on it. So once you plug in the lav to the transmitter and route the cable behind it, it's also a very, very secure design. I tried to pull the cable out. I could not pull the cable out. Obviously, the Rode is better in that way, but the DJI makes up for it, and it has a secure design also. Now, both of them have magnets that you can attach to the back if you want to stick them on stuff, but the Rode, you do have to slide this magnetic piece over it, and then the magnet clips right onto there, so slight difference in that. And then the last thing I want to talk about physical wise is the wind muff. Now, I'm sorry, DJI users, a lot of us wanted to be able to put the wind muff on there and stick it in the charging case to be able to leave it on there and close it. Well, still no dice, but you can't put everything in the big case that it comes with. Now, different design when it comes to the wind muff. The DJI mic now, it's got a little fake 3.5 millimeter adapter, connector, whatever you want to call it, and it plugs right into the lav mic port. So here you go, really sturdy design, doesn't come out easily. The Rode, on the other hand, has what the old DJI mic used to have, and it is a rotating lock into place type design. And I really cannot stand these, because first of all, you got to clear the furries out the way, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, then you got to find where it's supposed to go to, and then you got to screw it. I'm not even about to deal with that, okay? But it's not that big of a deal. I'm making it more dramatic than it is. But as you see, the DJI wind muff is way easier to put on and off. Now, the benefit is with the Rodes, you can put it in the case with the muff on there. So that's something to be considered. Now, the other key difference I gotta point out is the DJI mic. Let me switch hands so I can get them back in the same hands. The DJI mic has Bluetooth built into it. So both of these are 2.4 gigahertz, but the DJI mic now has Bluetooth. So this is really, really a big deal, okay? So with the DJI mic, I compared this to devices just using Bluetooth, such as like the Osmo Pocket, the DJI Action 4. I've used it paired to my phone, my computer. So it makes a really interesting proposition, because I don't always need the freaking receiver with me to be able to use this as a wireless microphone. Now, of course, over Bluetooth, the quality is not the same, but just to have that capability is fire. I'm not gonna lie, and I wish the Rode had Bluetooth capability, because it doesn't. You either do internal recording or you need to use the receiver. Now, speaking of onboard storage, both of these have onboard storage. The DJI mic has 8 gigabytes of onboard storage, which will give you about 14 hours of, onboard audio. And the Rode Wireless Pro has 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, which gives you a whole lot more. It gives you close to 40 hours of onboard storage. And I can't deny that's a big deal for some people. It's not a big deal for me, because I've never ran through 8 gigabytes like in one filming session. But if you're somebody who does super long interview takes, it's a major deal. Much more storage on the Rode Wireless Pro. The Rode Wireless Pro also has an advantage where, again, you can customize the buttons on what you want them to do on the Rode Wireless Pro, although it does have to go through the Rode Central app. With the DJI mic, you cannot customize these buttons or their actions at all. The other thing I do really like about the DJI Mic 2 is it does have really, really good haptics in there. So for example, when you take the microphone out of the case and it connects to the receiver, it vibrates. When you start a recording, it vibrates. When you turn on noise cancellation, it vibrates. The Rode has a tiny amount of haptics when you first pair them up to let you know that they're paired, but other than that, on a day-to-day basis, the DJI gives you feedback at all times, no matter what you're doing, and I really, really like that about the DJI. Now, before we talk about the receivers, I've been noticing on all of these videos, after checking my freaking YouTube analytics, that over 90% of y'all are coming back watching, but you're not subscribing. Yo, what is that crap all about? Can we please fix that? Go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when new videos go up. Stop playing with me, okay? Now let's talk about the receivers. Unfortunately, with the receivers, they're mounted to the camera, so I don't have them in my hand, so I'll probably do a B-roll overlay. And they're very, very different, okay? The Rode Wireless Pro receiver does not have a touchscreen on it. It does have a display, and it looks just like the transmitter. It's just a square. The little display does give you, very vital information such as your gain levels and stuff like that. And you can use the little buttons on the outside to kind of finagle your way through the menu, but you got to remember freaking button sequences. So I got to hold this down 2 times and kick my feet together and do a cartwheel to get to gain settings and all that other good stuff. Again, with the receiver, you can customize the buttons on the back of it. And to mount it to a camera, it's just got the regular old clip on there, which kind of doubles as a cold shoe mount. So it works fine. I think my biggest qualm with the Rode receiver is I can't do everything on it. Again, I can go through stuff like splitting and merging the audio tracks or making that selection. I can adjust the gain on there, but for everything else, I need to use the Rode Central app. And for me, this is a huge pain point. And the first world problems, it's not like the end of the world, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't want to plug it up to configure stuff. Now, in the Rode's defense, the Rode Central app does give you way more flexibility when it comes to customizing the parameters, when it comes to, rendering out your audio in different formats and all that other good stuff. So it is capable, but the fact that I have to use it to change stuff on the microphone really, really irritates me. And I don't know why Rode just won't put a touchscreen on there and make life simple for everybody, because I'll speak for everybody. Nobody likes the whole pressing buttons, figuring out interface anymore, okay? People are done with that. It's 2024. Let's move on, Rode. Now, the DJI receiver is shaped differently, so it's a rectangle versus the Rode Wireless Pro receiver, which is freaking square. And the benefit to the DJI receiver is it's got a full OLED touchscreen, okay? You can change everything about the mics on the touchscreen. There's no need to connect the app. You don't have to do anything extra. You can control everything through the freaking touchscreen. Also, now there's a jog wheel. So if you don't want to use the touchscreen, you can just turn the jog dial, and this is really handy. So if you got 2 people mic'd up and you just want to change the gain real quick for one of the mics, you just tap the jog wheel, adjust that person's gain, tap it again to lock it in, and boom, it's done. You don't need to dig through menus or anything like that. Now, again, the Rode is more full featured when you use the companion app, but the DJI has everything built into the receiver, so I don't need a companion app. So for me, it's a huge W for the DJI because I do not want to deal with having to use an app. Now, the good thing about the DJI Mic 2 receiver is it does have a cold shoe mount on the bottom of it. The old DJI Mic had this hinge system that you had to plug it in and it freaking broke off. So I'm so glad that they changed it. And on the back side of it, there's a digital connector to connect one of the adapters out of the charging case for USB-C or Lightning. And this is another advantage of the DJI. There's no additional cables that you have to carry around if you did want to connect it to like a phone or something like that. You do have to use a cable with the Rode. They do fit inside the pouch, but again, you have to keep up with these, whereas the DJI has a slot for them. Now, when it comes to range, the Rode is rated at 260 meters and the DJI is rated at 250 meters. Okay, so there's a 10-meter difference, but we do have to give the advantage to the Rode on paper. Now, I don't walk around putting my camera down and walking freaking 3 miles away with a wireless microphone. I live in Cleveland. I don't trust nobody more than 10 feet away from my camera, but we will go ahead and test it out to see which one breaks first. Okay, let's get on with it. I have 2 cameras going. I have the Rode on one, the DJI on the other one. We're gonna do a little bit of freaking range test, and I know I look ridiculous, but it's the middle of a blizzard. I might be risking all of my microphones and gear, but for science, right? I'm only doing this because I'm sure y'all are gonna wanna see this. Well, let's start walking. I'm gonna do something with my back turned and towards you. So both of them have comparable range. The DJI is rated at 250 meters. The Rode is rated at 260 meters. So I think we'll be able to walk pretty far on both. I got snow all in my shoes now. This freaking sucks. I do have to tell you this, okay? The Rode will record one continuous audio file, whereas the DJI will split the audio file. So this is, stuff you need to know. And this is important because the DJI files will have to be stitched back together if you are doing long recordings, because it will break apart the audio files up. Now, if you are in 24-bit, it will do it about every 30 minutes. 32-bit float, it'll do it about every 24 minutes. But just something to be mindful of. It's not a huge deal for me because I don't do a lot of long recordings. But if you do a lot of long recordings, then it's something that you do need to be mindful of. But neither here nor there. We're quite a bit of ways away from both cameras. The cameras probably can't even see me no more. And I'm gonna turn which dropped out, if not both of them already. And I'm gonna turn back, and we're gonna go all the way to the end of the freaking street. All the way to the end of the street, which I would probably guesstimate will be about, maybe about a quarter mile or so. So let me know which one sounds better, if one is cutting out. I got my back turned, and this is also not exactly perfect direct line of sight, but you get what I'm saying. So now I'm crossing the street to the other side. I'm way far away. If you leave your camera this far away, something is wrong with you, and you deserve to get your camera gear stolen. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and walk back. So I'm not comfortable leaving any more distance between, or creating any more distance between me and either camera at this point. So I'm curious to know which one cut out, if either of them, and which one sound better out of both of them. Y'all will have to be the judge of this. Let me turn my back and walk back towards you some. All right. While I was filming parts of this video, you probably heard some static out of the road, and I don't know what that was about. I thought maybe it's because I might have been hand holding the road and maybe it was turned on, so maybe you were hearing like the rubbing of my hands or something like that, but I don't think that was it, because the static was coming even when I wasn't holding it. So some type of interference happened with the road. It could have been a fluke, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm trying to make this review as fair as possible for y'all. Okay, and it's freaking cold out here, and I hope I didn't mess up either mic, because it's definitely snowing and stuff out here. So let me know what y'all think, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut back to the video now. There's your results. As long as you are within reasonable distance of both, you shouldn't have any issues with signal strength and penetration. The next thing I want to talk about are key features between the two of them when it comes to software, because this is a big deal. Okay, now let's start with the Rode first. The Rode does have 32-bit float, obviously. It also has Rode's auto gain feature, which is really, really good. It doesn't affect the internal recording. It only affects the recording going into the camera wirelessly, but it keeps the gain in check. You don't have to adjust anything, and it does a fantastic job. In fact, I am using the auto gain feature right now, and this ensures that your levels are always where they need to be. It's a fire feature. It also has built-in time code, which is another fire feature that will really, really lend itself for pro users. Again, you can customize the buttons. You can set them to start recording automatically once they're powered on. You can also set it to where when the camera turns on, it will wake the receiver up, which is another fire feature. You do have your lock and laugh system that we talked about. You can also assign different camera presets through the Rode Central app. So if you don't want to use auto gain, but you don't know what preset for gain you should set it at, you can just go through and pick what your camera manufacturer is in your camera, and it'll set it automatically for you. Now, not all cameras are listed in there, most of them are, but that's a fire feature. And for the Rode, that's its unique set of features. I don't think I missed anything. I think that's everything. But anyways, let's talk about the DJI mic. Starting off, it does have also 32-bit float. This has DJI's intelligent noise cancellation. So I know the Rode has the auto gain feature. Well, DJI's trump card is this feature. It will automatically adjust the amount of noise cancellation that gets applied based off of your surroundings, how loud it is, and it actually works really, really well. Now again, with the DJI mic receiver, it has a touchscreen, so I don't need to use a companion app for anything. So it also has features that you can adjust through the touchscreen, like auto record, so when you pull it out the case, it starts recording automatically. It can also turn on automatically when you turn the camera on, just like the Rodes can. Now, a huge feature that the DJI Mic 2 has that the Rode doesn't have is record stop lock. And this, my friends, for y'all that film interviews and sports and stuff like that, it's also just like the lock and laugh system is. Well, this is also something that's really, really powerful. Record stop lock will give control of recording only to the receiver. So if a person is wearing this and and maybe they have it in their pocket like a pocket lav pack and they have a lavalier on it or whatever, they can't stop the internal recorder or recording period using a record button on the transmitter, which is a huge deal. The Rode does not have record stop lock. And then similar to the Rode, how it has camera presets you can pick from in the Rode Central app, well, it's built into the microphones through the touchscreen. So you can do the same thing where you can pick your camera brand, you can pick the model, and it will automatically put the proper gain setting on there. And again, a lot of them are in there when it comes to popular cameras, but there are some missing. I did talk to DJI. They are adding more in future firmware updates. Okay, so now that we got all that crap out the way, to be honest with y'all, like I said, I've been using both of these for a couple weeks, and I've had no trouble out of either of them. I don't think you could go wrong with either set. They're around the same price. Both of them have their advantages and disadvantages, but here's what I really think, okay? I think that the Rode Wireless Pro is really geared towards people who do more pro type of videos. Now, that's not to say that both of them can't be used in a pro setting. They both have a lot of pro features, but the Rode does have a few more pro features in my opinion, where the DJI Mic 2 I feel like is really geared towards creators who need more pro audio needs. So it does have pro features as well, like I said, but for me, I think the DJI Mic 2 is more thought out when it comes to experience. I don't need a companion app. I have a full touchscreen. It's really thoughtful when it comes to haptics. Everything's kind of in the case magnetically. For me, I think the DJI Mic 2 gives me a better experience, although the Rode Wireless Pro might beat it out on some of the specs, like storage, battery life, and range. For me, the DJI gives me the experience, and on a day-to-day basis, experience is what's more important, at least for me. So I would say between these two, if I had to pick, I would say for me that the DJI Mic 2 would be my choice because of easy use, capability. It's got a lot of capability, and also experience, okay? If you are somebody who is on a lot of film sets and you need more pro features, and you know, could use like the Rode Companion app and being able to change your export settings and, you know, dial in the receiver and the transmitters with a little bit more fine tuning, and you're okay with having to jump through these hoops like using the Rode Companion app and not having a touchscreen and all that other stuff, and you want a cheaper kit that has 2 lav mics built into it, then the Rode Wireless Pro may be the better choice for you. Again, I don't think you could go wrong with either, and even with the DJI, if you pick up the 2 extra lav mics, again, it's only a $30 difference between the 2 kits. So let me know what y'all think down in the description section on which one of these you prefer. You heard the sound out of both of them. We went through all the features, most of the features out of both of them. I'm curious to know, what do you think and which one do you think is better for you? Again, shout out to BH Photo. Shout out to DJI for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate y'all. And if you want to know more about the DJI Mic 2, especially how it syncs with the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Action 4, make sure that you hit that playlist right up there, and it'll be a playlist after this video. You can click one of the little cards at the end of the video. You know what to do. But I'm out of here. Tight Shirt Terry Warfield. Thanks for watching. Piece of chicken grease. I'm out, baby. Peace.
I think I'm playing chess. I see a king. I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead of every move. Now that's a check. Yes, they want to know my secret. It's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt. And my mom, she upset. That's way back when 4